Welcome to this episode of My Electric Earth. What is the trend when it comes to electric cars nowadays? Well, the positive attitude that was around for electric cars some years ago has been reversed in parts of the world. In the US, the politicians has been rolling back all the incentives. In part of Europe, they try to prevent the evolution coming from abroad to protect the old industry that is supported by fossil fuel. But does it help? What I can see, that at least here in Sweden, more and more electric cars are being sold and used. And it's a similar trend in other European countries, despite the different trade barriers added to imported vehicles. Even if some governments around the world is doing their best to roll back the progress of electrification of transport, there is one big dominant country that is formally revolutionizing the electric industry, and that is China. They have fast chargers that is charging the cars in record times. They are developing batteries that is very efficient, effective, and cost less. We see the result of this with so many electric cars on the roads today. So what we can conclude is that the electric trend is taking off. It's not because of the environment. It's not because it's not polluting the air that we are breathing. It's just that electric cars can run much more efficient than a combustion engine that is depending on fossil fuel. Fossil fuel that comes from places in the world that is geopolitically unstable. I have been driving electric cars now since many years, and since 2019, when I bought my Tesla Model 3, I was driving constantly electric, and I can just give you the proof that it works. It works to drive electric with a Tesla Model 3 or a Model Y. You can take your whole family with skis on top of the car and drive far, and it works. And it's not only me, more and more people realize that it works. They see this as a real good alternative to not be depending on rising gas prices in an uncertain world. Here in Sweden, I drive on domestic energy, produced by, in this case, hydropower. But the beauty with electricity is that it can be produced in so many ways. And we should choose the ones that is not harming our environment that we as humans lives in. So the conclusion is that we need to take care of our renewable energy that comes from the sun and wind and water, and stop depending on fossil fuel for cars, for transport, and also even for producing electricity. Also, it needs to be easier for people to make the right choices. In this neighborhood, the EV chargers has been prepared on every parking spot. That's a great initiative. But there is a drawback for people that lives in apartment buildings like this. They cannot share the electric meter that they use in the apartment with their EV charger. The parking spot is simply too far away. So they need to have a separate meter for the EV charger, and that is increasing the cost for charging dramatically. For me, that is living in my own house, I can share the cost for the fixed part of the electrical connection between the power that I need for my house and the EV charger. On top of that, I don't need to pay any extra administrative fee to some charging organization that is arranging this charger on this public place. That makes the total cost for my charging much more attractive. Fossil fuel have helped us to build the society that we live in today. But unfortunately, the drawback with fossil fuel is the global warming and the combustion that it's released, that you have to breathe from every car that is polluting the surrounding. But now there is this alternative, and we have to work with the transition together because the alarm bells are ringing loudly, not only for the environment but also for our national security. Trains, on the other hand, has been electrified for over 100 years, but they don't use batteries. But today's batteries has evolved so much, and they will be continuing to evolve in the future, so soon the imagination will only stop us from what they can be used for. And saying that heavy duty vehicles cannot run on electricity is also false. Look at this bus here. It's fully electric. And it works.